What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Imperial Beer Company, and they are headquartered in Asheville, North Carolina, and this is their Never Not Longing for Your Despair. So this is an Imperial Stout with almond, chocolate, coconut, and vanilla. Comes in at 13.5% alcohol by volume, 27 IBUs at the time of review. And this bottle is just under 3 months old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Curtis, for this beer, so huge thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail boxing video I did that contains all the goodies Curtis sent my way, and he sent me 10 beers in total, 9 of which were from Burial, and this is actually the 10th and final beer of the entire box of goodies he sent my way. And did I save the best for last? I have no idea, but this is the biggest ABV beer he sent, and it's a doozy. So let's read real quick from their Instagram /Untapped. I'm reading from Untapped, but it's very similar what they posted on Instagram. It says, "We hold it close, cradling as both punishment and salvation, reveling in ruin, the grinning muse, the specter that warms your bones with an icy grip, our hymn to the beauty of what it means to break and begin again. A double mashed Imperial Stout crafted for the exhibit's 6th anniversary, conditioned on toasted coconut, rum-soaked Madagascar vanilla, toasted almond, and a heaping of cacao nibs. Slices of German chocolate cake drizzled in candied shaved almond and drizzled in coconut icing." That last sentence to me excites me. When it comes to cakes and pies, 3 stand alone for me. German chocolate cake, carrot cake, and key lime pie. I love German chocolate cake. I have since a kid. This sounds fantastic. I know, Curtis, you wanted to send me that other one that was like, I think you said it was like Cinnamon Toast Crunch Imperial Stout form. It had a whole bunch of cool adjuncts. He said that one was a little bit better than this one. However, based on what he's telling me, this is my preference, although I do trust his palate, and he said the other one was better. He did still give this one a 4.75 and thought it was amazing. I'm here for it. I don't know if I've had any other stouts from Burial. This is going to be fun, I think. I hope. So we'll give it a crack here. Hopefully it doesn't gush or anything. All those adjuncts. I did keep it in my, my darker beer fridge at 54 degrees Fahrenheit. You got the interesting cap here. I don't know if it'll show up on camera. It's a cool cap, I think. I like it. Anyway, let's throw it over here. And of course, the artwork, which we'll talk about, when I show you the label and whatnot, I do the review, or do the rating, but it looks awesome. All right, so it's not pouring out as rich and viscous as I thought. I mean, it definitely looks like an Imperial Stout, but 13.5%, I don't know about that. We'll do something like that. I don't know if I'm going to drink all this tonight, 13.5%. We'll see how I'm feeling. He did warn me. Curtis warned me a couple things. So I took that little cheat, right? And I'm talking, nothing's happening, and all of a sudden, everything happened. I won't tell you about the cheat that I just had, but Jesus Christ. He did say that this is, very sweet, definitely pastry-esque, and good news is that right now, as we speak, this is my dessert, and I'm looking for something that is sweet. So I'm going to take that in consideration when reviewing it. I know this is a big Imperial pastry stout. That's what this is. So how does that look? Well, my friends, that looks fucking phenomenal. That's how that looks. You can see a little bit closer. You can probably see the alcohol legs, on the glass above the head. But as far as how a beer looks, this looks awesome. It's pitch black in the glass. We'll try to bust this out, the contraband flashlight, but since we don't really have a non-stem glass, so it's tough to go from the bottom, right? Green sombrero. So yeah, it doesn't matter. It's fucking pitch black. You're not gonna see through it. So it's pitch black. Poured out more like a deeper, darker brown, but pitch black in the glass. Had about a finger of a straight out brown. You could say mocha colored head, maybe even a little bit of a darker brown colored head. Again, alcohol legs. You could call them sheets, whatever the case may be. It's all over the glass. Looks fantastic. Seems like it has decent carbonation. Let's get a nose. So believe it or not, I'm getting the base beer. A huge roasted, almost charred malt, which I didn't expect. And then it's a combination of very sweet vanilla. Wouldn't say rum-soaked vanilla. If I were doing this blind, there's no way I'm picking up on rum. But the vanilla is very pronounced. It's an intense, deep vanilla. Complex. But then there's that toasted coconut hanging around. Definitely an almond vibe too. It has a nuttiness that I would specify as an almond or a walnut. The only thing I'm really not getting in here is you know, huge chocolate vibes. I mean, yeah, there's a nice chocolate vibe to some degree, but it's not big. So it's supposed to have coconut, vanilla, almond, chocolate, right? In order, I'm getting vanilla, coconut, almond, chocolate. That's the order. What is it? The order on it? Because usually the order means how they did. Almond's number 1, no. Chocolate's number 2, no. Coconut and vanilla. Almond was the exact opposite order of how they've listed the adjuncts, which, whatever, doesn't matter, no. But this does not smell like a German chocolate cake specifically. I don't know what I would classify this as a dessert. Some kind of vanilla coconut dessert. It smells like it's going to be sweet for sure. It's definitely rich. Maybe a touch of like a dried fruit, like a dark dried fruit. Pretty much every adjunct is very intense outside of the chocolate, which is weird. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Curtis. I haven't had a beer like this in a while. What I mean by that, the taste just did a 180 from the nose, like a complete 180. Yeah, it's delicious. It's fucking delicious. Was it going to be delicious? Yeah. Did you know it was going to be delicious? For sure. Did Curtis say it was delicious? He did. Body on this. This is full body. It's viscous, it's thick, it's syrupy. It's not quite chewy, but there's a viscosity you can tell. When it passes through, definitely thick. Maybe not approaching like maple syrup, but there's a thickness across the palate, 100%. It's double mashed. I kind of expected it. It's fantastic body. Mouthfeel, nice mild to moderate carbonation, but it glides across the palate extremely smooth. There's a little bit of creaminess on the finish. Mouthfeel is really nice. Body's superior, but they're both damn good. Believe it or not, this beer, now I know Curtis, you said this was sweet, and you're not wrong, it is sweet. It's not cloying to me. It's one of those beers that is very rich and decadent. The difference between, I think, rich and being a beer being like rich and decadent opposed to just being straight up like confectionery sweetness is it has layers of complexity that you know is a rich beer. It is definitely sweet, but it's just not like sugary sweet. There's, again, layers of complexity, other things going on. That's what this beer has going for it. It's rich, it's decadent. It's not like it doesn't have a huge confectionery sweetness, and there are layers of complexity to the tasting profile. Forefront, roasted malt, not as charred or like smoky as the nose was indicating, more of just a straight on, deeply roasted malt. Then I wasn't getting as much in the taste, or in the nose, in the taste. Tons of like fudgy chocolate. You say fudgy like dark chocolate. It's very rich with the chocolate note. Like it's kind of absurd how much chocolate's in this beer. And I can't believe I didn't smell it as much as I can taste it. Kind of wild. As it passes through, I get that nuttiness like halfway through the palate. And it kind of has this drying kind of like almond like husk kind of, or almond like skin. It's more of a drying almond kind of flavor. And that passes on through to the back of the palate, where this does have a semi-dry kind of finish, which is bonkers because you would think 13.5%, all these adjunct stuff would be insanely over the top sweet and have a residual sweetness. It definitely has a semi-dry kind of finish, which is nice. But on the sides of the tongue and like underneath, there is just lots of vanilla, lots of coconut, and the lingering flavor on my palate is a distinct toasted coconut. If you ever had any kind of pastry, dessert, or even like if you've ever had like a parfait that has like toasted coconut in it, it's like you ate a spoonful of like a yogurt parfait that had toasted coconut, or some kind of, you know, like a German chocolate cake that has like, you know, toasted coconut on it. You, on the back of the palate, like have the strands left over, and maybe you chew them up or whatever. You find one like 2 hours later in your teeth. It has that kind of sensation to it, like a toasted coconut flake. I forgot this was 13.5% as far as the booze is concerned. Is there warming in my chest? You bet. Is it 13.5%? It is not. On the palate, 10. At the most, I would label this 10. The viscosity indicates 12 plus. The actual booziness on the palate and into the chest would indicate much lower than that. So they hide the alcohol incredibly well for something that is approaching 14%. Doesn't even taste nearly anywhere in that realm. to me anyway. So it's an underlying, like, deep kind of like maraschino cherry. I usually say like sweet dark cherry. I'd say maraschino cherry for this one. Almost like a cherry cordial. That's how much chocolate, and there's a little bit of cherry, and then you get like the vanilla for like the cream in them. The vanilla was way more prominent in the nose, and the taste is there, but a little bit more subdued and nuanced. Again, more of like a cherry cordial vibe to it. Slight frosting vibe, but nothing too big. The only thing I'm really not getting is the rum-soaked, part of it, but I didn't think so. A lot of times when they say, oh, this is soaked vanilla bean or whatever, you really don't pick up on it, especially with 4 different adjuncts, big 13.5% Imperial Stout. Like, I didn't anticipate picking up on the rum-soaked, and if they didn't say that in the tasting notes, there's no way I would even know that's in here. This is delicious. But some things keeping it from being a world-class beer for me. Number one, I know it's almost impossible, but that's why like beers like this, I don't typically buy as much anymore. It's 13.5%. It's sweet. It's rich. It's decadent. I'm probably going to have to drink this over a 2-day period or split the rest of that with somebody. I'm probably going to cap it. Not that the carbonation really matters, me sitting here for 10, 15 minutes reviewing it. But I need to cap this because I don't think I'm going to drink the rest of this today. It's a little bit too rich and decadent. It's not cloying. It's just like too much of a good thing. I'm starting to like just, it kind of builds up on your palate where it's like, ooh, that's too much of one flavor, right? It's not too sweet from that aspect. Like there's a lot of beers, even like hazies I'll drink and I'll get halfway through the can and I'll be like, that's just too sweet. There's nothing cutting it. I'm not having that problem with this after the amount of sips I've taken. It's just too much of a good thing. Another thing is that I would like a little bit more vanilla. And I think I want that German chocolate cake profile they're talking about. I'm not getting that specifically. I'm getting delicious flavors, don't get me wrong. But when you're picking apart a beer and trying to decipher what's world-class, what's not, this is one of those beers where like it's not world-class for me. But it's approaching that, if that makes sense. Love the body. Mouth feels nice. Chocolate character is insane in the taste. I love that finish of that toasted coconut. It's rich and decadent, but not cloying. Hides the alcohol well. Those are all pros to it. So I am going to give Burial's Never Not Longing for Your Despair. Awesome, awesome label art as usual from these guys. I am going to give this a go a high 4.5, go 4.6. I think that's probably the best I could do for something like this. 4.6 is a really nice score, but it is what it is. I think, like I said, Curtis gave this a 4.75. I'm not far off of that, 0.15 away, but I could see why somebody would I could see why somebody give this a 5 out of 5. I could see somebody giving this a 3 out of 5. It's all in the eye of the beholder and like what your personal preference is. For me, it's a delicious fucking pastry stout, but there's a reason I don't buy pastry stouts as often because a lot of them are bigger ABV and I got to make room and time to drink them. And sometimes I don't want them. I wish this came in a 7.5 fluid ounce can or like a small bottle, like a stubby bottle or like even like the Little King's Cream Ale 7 fluid ounce bottles. Like give me, not green bottles, but like regular brown bottles. Just give me those because I think these are meant to be shared. And while I might end up sharing that, I would love to be able to just take one to my dome piece and not feel bad about doing so. Does that make any sense to anybody out there? Anyway, price point availability, $21 a bottle on their website. I think that's an all right price point. I really do. A lot of different adjuncts in here. It's a fucking 13.5% beer. Yeah, it's more than $1 an ounce because that's a 16.9 fluid ounce bottle, so almost 17 ounces. But it's Burial. They make quality beer. I can't really complain too much. And then availability, it's Burial. You can get it off their website. That's how Curtis got it shipped to his house in Ohio. We get them here in New York State. Check their website, see where they ship to. They might ship to your state. If not, you might get them if you're in like the Carolinas, maybe Tennessee, more to the south, maybe Midwest, maybe a little bit up the Eastern Seaboard. But we don't see them here in New York State outside of being able to order it off their website. So yeah, really damn delicious pastry stout. I'm glad I was able to try it. Thanks again to Curtis. Now I'm curious about that other one you were talking about, Curtis. If they ever rebrew that one, I might have to order it myself. But this is a damn fun beer, damn tasty beer, and I can't thank him enough for this one. So if you've had this one before, please post in the comment section. Like I said, 13.5%, drinks like it's 10. It's kind of voodoo, but it still has a great body to it. And yeah, I'm going to shut this one down. Done with Curtis's beer mail. So once again, thanks to Curtis for sending all these beers my way. I've gotten to know Burial specifically via his beer mail, which, like I said, included 9 of the beers from lagers to hop forward beers to these big pastry stouts. They do a fantastic job. So if you're in the Carolinas, you probably already know about Burial, and if not, you need to check them out, especially if you're in and around Asheville. The exhibit is their brewery in Raleigh, North Carolina, I'm pretty sure. It is, there was the 6th anniversary. That's what they brewed this for. And yeah, if you're just in North Carolina, check out Burial. You can't go wrong. Anyway, shutting this one down. Appreciate it. To the next one. Cheers.